We are live on Facebook, and if you want to participate, we would love to have you involved in what we're going to do today. We're going to go through a bunch of questions that's come through the show in our Luke and Susie Discourse. Deb has asked some questions. Jesse's in there. See Yolanda, Rebecca, Leah, and we're going to get to those and get as many people involved as possible. So when you add your chat, your comments on the chat, then it comes straight through to us, and we would love to have you involved. So stay in touch. Suze, we're going to start off with one that has actually created we're going to start off with something that's created some tension for us,
yes.
Suze. In fact, we've had a little bit of a rumble about this.
Luke versus Susie in a marriage battle royale.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Are you ready?
Suze, because Debbie's asked the question, did a sibling ever ruin a big moment for you with your family, or did you ever ruin a big moment for a sibling? And she gave an example. I was announced as captain of the school, and my brother walked in the door at home at the same time as me and blurted it out straight before I had a chance to.
Oh.
Suze, as we were talking about this question from Debbie, you were like, I'm the one who ruins everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're the one who ruins everything. We have got different perspectives on this. Please give us your half-hearted, no one will agree with you perspective on how I ruin everything.
No, you just steal my thunder all
Right.
the time. So any time where it could be a Susie moment, Luke swoops in and takes all the attention for himself.
For example?
For example, I gave birth to twins. Rather mighty achievement. Literally one day of my life where it could actually be about me.
Impossible to steal that thunder.
Luke gets kidney stones, ends up in another hospital, and everybody's calling me to check on him.
If your thunder is so easy to steal, maybe it wasn't ever your thunder in the first place.
Yeah, I'm
Suze.
starting to think I don't have thunder.
Some of us have thunder and lightning.
Mm.
I'm just saying that these are just individual moments of circumstances that you're referring to. But let me go back to Debbie's example. When she had some big news to share and her brother is the one who blurted it out and announced it before she had a chance to. And if we were to go through our reputation right now and the ongoing joke, what is the ongoing joke in our family?
The ongoing joke is I get to the kids first.
Yeah, and then I go to tell them my big news, and they go, I know, Mummy already told me. You tell them all my news. You tell every bit of news. I never, ever get to have the moment where they go, wow, that's so cool. Like, because it's just, and this is now, even when you haven't told them, our kids then, anytime I tell them anything exciting, they just go, yeah, Mummy told us.
Yeah.
Just, even if it's not true,
Even
just
if
to
it's
see
not
my
true.
reaction.
Mm.
There was one point where I'm like, dead set, I'm the one picking them up. There is no chance Susie has of stealing my thunder on this. And then it turns out you called them.
No, he calls me every afternoon when he finishes school.
And then you knowingly took the opportunity
Yeah.
to break the news before I turned up.
I'm Mummy.
You're a terrible person sometimes.
So is this something that's ever happened to you?
Yeah.
So the actual question, did a sibling or partner or friend ever ruin a big moment for you with your family?
All
Or
right.
did you ever ruin a big moment for a sibling?
Yeah.
And for her example being that she was named captain of the school, before she got to tell her family, her brother walked in and said it first.
We did have a big moment where someone ruined something for us combined. Do you remember when, so we were trying to have children for a long, long time. And when we finally fell pregnant with Tyson, and we told our boss, who then, before we had a chance to tell our friends,
Put it in the newsletter.
and sent it around to everybody.
Yes.
So I was a little bit mad. I was a little bit mad. Anyway, let's get to that. Has someone ever ruined something for you, or have you ever been the ruiner? Louise, have you ever been?
The example I could think of is, it's a little bit sad actually, but be my first day at school. So I'm really little, and at that time Mum was working, so she didn't bring me to school and drop me off like they do now. You know, parents go in, they spend a lot of great time there in the classroom. No, nothing like that. On the bus with my 3 older siblings, and off we go to school. We lived on a farm, so it was a fair drive in as well. So off we go, and I'm walking into the schoolyard. And I thought my big sister, who was only a couple of years older than me, she'll look after me. You know, she'll walk me up maybe to my classroom and look after me. But No, we walk past her classroom first and she just takes off and goes with her friends, and I'm just standing there going, okay, I'm so little, but I don't know where to go. So my first day at school, I know.
Oh,
my
that
first
should
day
have
at
been
school
a
was
big
bit
moment.
sad. It was
Oh my
mighty sad.
goodness. Yeah.
Oh.
And the fact, because I don't particularly remember my first day of school, but it's
No, I
obviously a
do.
big deal. It was a
Yeah.
big deal for you.
It's not a real happy one, but it was, she's made up for it since. She's a great sister.
Oh, she'd want to have. She'd want to have. Helma, have you had a moment where you've maybe ruined a big moment or had someone ruin yours?
Can't think of anything offhand. I have predicted a pregnancy. Oh, well, predicted. They were only just pregnant and hadn't told anyone. And it was one of my nieces. And I said to her quietly, I didn't ruin the moment, are you pregnant? She said, how do you know? I said, I don't know. It's just a feeling.
You got the gut instinct going.
Oh, look at that. So,
Yeah.
Well done you for not ruining that for her.
There is a
though.
great risk in that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yes, because at another time I caught up with an old friend and she was a little bit chubbier than I remember her. And I asked her if she was pregnant and she wasn't.
No. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's a mistake make once, Helma. That's a mistake you only make once.
That's right. Ask someone else first.
That's funny because you can't even go and go, hey, I assume you're eating a lot of donuts.
It is offensive.
Yeah,
It is
either way.
offensive. Adam, how about you? Have you ever had a big moment ruined, or have you ruined someone else's big moment?
Unfortunately, not. I try not to ruin anybody's moments, and I try not to let anyone ruin my moments because they're my moments.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really good. That's it takes a lot of consideration at times because we get excited about the news of people that we love. And so that's a very considerate stance to take, Adam.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
So, I mean, in the end, Suze, hearing other people's perspective and having some time to reflect, have you realised that you're the villain in this story for us, or are you still determined that I'm the one who ruins everything?
Sure, I'll take the villain status if it makes you happy.
It does. You being the villain does make me happy. Wrong button. Let me actually get the right button and play the right audio. As you were, everybody, while I work myself out here.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
All right, Jesse's got a question about our phones, Suze.
Yes, okay.
And the question is, how do you put people into your phone contacts? She always puts the first and last name in the first name part. And then in the surname is where I met you. So everyone I love also gets a moniker for their name. So there's Caroline is Courageous Caroline, and then her last name. Luke and Susie community, we got Luke and Susie. Luke is annoying, little brother. What? How do I get I mean, her phone is annoying? And you're in as a saint. What is going on here?
Because I'm married to the annoying.
Not sure I like Jesse's system. How do you do it? How do you put people in your phone? Do you have a thing like?
Yeah, I do have identifiers. So I've got a lot of people in my phone are their first name and then their last name is whose parent they are. Because it's a lot of our children's mums and dads for organising play dates and things.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of people who are in and their first name is their full name and then their last name is where I know them from.
Yeah.
And then some are just a first name with rugby or first name and soccer. After,
I do see you shared a contact with me and I see it as their first name and the name of their children in this that's come through. See, I would often just put their names. And then I had this situation where often I would not know their last name and then I'd put them in as a first name. And then I had like 4 Steves and no identifier as to which Steve was which. And so when I had to try and call a Steve, I'm like, potluck? And I'd pick and I'd have to call through multiple Steves before I got the right
Find
one.
the right one.
So then I started to put things like the surname. If I didn't know their surname, then I would put it as where I know them from.
Yeah.
And so there was a guy who I only just updated who at the time I entered it, I couldn't remember his last name. So I put the name of the business he's from, but the name of the business was a surname.
Oh.
And so he's actually been in as the incorrect phone number. And I love it when you put it in and I go current, because when someone changes their numbers or whatever, just to see the difference between. But then you end up sometimes if someone changes their number multiple times, you've got multiple currents and you don't know which one is the actual current versus.
What kind of undercover spy friends have you got who are changing their phone number all the time?
Burners all over the place.
All over the place.
Use it once, throw them in the bin.
This is such a good question. Ange, have you got a special way of putting people into your phone?
Putting photos on with people's names.
Photos. That's
Genius.
a good plan. Yeah.
I have never thought to put photos in.
That would help me with my Steve situation.
Do you take the photo or do you do it sneakily so they don't know? Or do you steal it off social media?
Steal it off social media.
It's good.
Hey, it works. It works. That's fantastic. A photo.
Yeah, because some people are automatically set up where it finds their photo because it's connected to an email, which is connected to a
Is
Google
that a
account,
fancy
for example.
iPhone thing?
Yeah, maybe it is. But so some of them I have photos because it just comes from their account. But that's good. I like it. A bit of social media stalking to add to it.
I really like that. Christina, how do you put people in your phone? Have you got any special little tricks?
Usually it's a location or a place where I've met them or something that reminds me of them. First name followed by something that describes them.
Yeah, something that describes them. That's good and helpful. Yeah. It's amazing because I don't know how many people you have in your phone, but I'm having a look at, and I've got to scroll because I've got a lot of Luke's contacts in my phone as well. And there's so many of them. I don't know most of these people in my phone.
Be careful when you're trying to call Steve, Susie.
Yeah, that's all right.
Undefined. You never know which one you're going to get.
I just realised I saved Olivia Newton-John's
I have a lot
number.
of Marias.
Maria's, yeah.
That's funny.
That's so very cool. Adam, how do you save people in your phone?
Well, if it's work, I put who I work for and then their name and what they do. If it's personal, well, then I normally put their first name, last name. As for play dates and stuff like that, I'll put the parent's name and then who's it attached to, like, you know, my daughter's friend's mother.
Yeah.
But like,
you
know, it gets messy.
It does get messy. But it's I find the parent one so helpful. Because I don't always remember the name of the parent, but I can search for the name of my son's friend.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's what I do. Like, I'll have the mum's name and then the child's name, then my so friend of, you know, and otherwise, I mean, especially being a single dad, like, it's so hard to keep track of this crap.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it. Yeah.
Look, I've got multiple Davids with no last name or any descriptor in my phone. I'm going through at the moment. I've got a couple of Harolds with no. I didn't realize I had so many Harolds on you in my world. Or maybe it's the same Harold over and over again. I don't know.
I've got one in mind.
Couple of Janines.
I've got one in mind that just says scam number.
Is that how you list
so
me in your
that's
contacts?
how it must be. If they call, that's how I've got it listed. Louise, have you got a special way of keeping track of people in your phone?
Well, I tend to use the top line as well. I don't put the surname in the surname bracket. I'm just like, let's go for the top one. I don't have time to change into other, you know, sections, but I'll use an acronym. Like if it's the school, it'll be like CC or whatever the acronym is, or VB for volleyball, or, you know, and then when you do a search, and even when you're working somewhere, if you do a search and you're looking for all the same people in the same category, you just put in those acronyms and up they come. That's everyone.
That's
but
more efficient.
I don't know. Well, sounds it, but it's got to do something, don't you, to try and help?
Yeah,
I've got multiple people that are in my phone 4 times under the same name. I look at my total contacts. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so popular. Turns out I'm not.
Maybe you need an edit there.
Yeah, I think I'm
edit.
looking at mine. It definitely needs an edit.
Yeah, I think so. I think all right. So maybe I'm not always organised, and by always I mean never.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah, but I appreciate the feedback. It's good. As we go through the questions, look, now we've got Peter, who has been contacting the show. He's been watching some of the video of us here, and he said, look, so good to see the happy faces. COVID has hit us pretty hard this week, and it has in our family as well. We've had the challenges.
We're clear now, but the boys are all
But he
positive.
says, but with the live feed, I can see that Luke is going balder and grayer than I am. Well, thanks for your feedback, Peter. It's true. I'm like, back in the old days in the 80s when the Australian cricket team would go to England for the big tour, and then they would always get the big bushy beards. It was like while on tour they didn't shave. I've been like kind of on that, but without the tour or playing cricket for Australia.
Or playing cricket.
Just out of pure laziness for 2 months. I haven't had a haircut, haven't shaved anything. And as it gets longer, it is true. You can see the bald patches and the grey.
Yeah, excellent.
I am grayer
I tell you what,
realised.
the fact that you're getting balder and grayer is something I'll let you tell the boys first. I won't steal your thunder on that.
Because they would be complete. Actually, they probably would be unaware. They probably have paid zero attention to me. They're barely even aware that I'm around.
All right, let's jump into our next question. We've got one from Leah that we're going to take a look at.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
Leah's question is, it's an interesting food-related question, and we've never had a question like this to the show. This is a unique format of vegetable-related questioning of people.
And I have really spent too much time on this.
Have you? So
yeah,
was it hard?
I've really considered what would my life be like if this actually was true. The question that Leah's asked is, if you had to choose 3 vegetables to live on for the rest of your life, only 3 vegetables, they're the only thing, what would you choose? Which 3 vegetables would you choose?
All right. So, Suze, what did you come up with?
Okay, spinach, because I figure it can cover me for I like having spinach and things, but then it can work as my lettuce in burgers and things.
Okay.
So then I can eliminate lettuce as an option, and just spinach will function in that role.
Yeah.
Potatoes, because I love chips and potato bakes and baked potatoes. I love potatoes, and so I just would find it hard to get rid of potato.
Yeah.
And then I spent a long time trying to decide what number 3 was going to be.
Yeah.
And I didn't know whether to classify tomato as a vegetable or not, and I didn't, or whether onion, because it goes in so many things like curries and things. And if I didn't have onion, does that mean I can't have curries? I thought about pumpkin, because I love things like pumpkin soup and roasted pumpkin. But in the end, I had to go with onion, because it really goes in so much.
I was hoping you wouldn't choose onion.
Why?
You react to onion.
No, I don't always. Only in certain ways of it being cooked.
So, but you're having this for the rest of your life.
You married me.
Just saying, when your body reacts to onion, we suffer the consequences. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look, do you know, it's interesting, because I was really adamant that I had my answer to this question, and then you started talking. While you were talking, I changed my answer twice.
Right. Okay.
Because I had corn, potatoes, and tomato.
Right.
Mostly because I really love corn. Tomato I can turn into soups and sauces and whatever. And potato, well, I mean, chips. I mean, hello, everything else as well. But but then when you said about lettuce, I went, of course I need lettuce. I need something for my burgers and my, the depths of salad. So I had to kind of cross out corn.
Something green,
right? And so I added lettuce, even though that's sort of vegetable gold right now. But then you mentioned about the tomato, and I never kind of stopped to think, technically it's a fruit, so I don't have to include it in there, because fruits are a free-for-all. So I added corn back in.
Right.
So I've got lettuce, corn, and potatoes as my answer.
Okay.
It's just that. I'd be happy to live the rest of my life like that.
Beautiful. Can I have some of your corn chips?
Oh, no.
I'll give you
Not
some
if you're eating onion.
I'll give you some of my curry in exchange.
All right. Elma, three vegetables you get to live with for the rest of your life. What are they?
Well, I didn't think about all the things they could do for you. I just thought about taste. And I love spinach and potato, so those 2 would have to be in. I could eat them for the rest of my life. And the other one is corn as well, Luke. I'm not very different. I love corn.
Yeah.
I hadn't considered corn, but it is a good one.
Just So good.
Yeah, we're on the
But I
same
didn't
page.
think about what else you could do with them. I just thought about taste.
Yeah.
It's got to taste good.
That's
Hey,
it.
that
That's
works.
it.
That's
Yep.
if you can live with them for the rest of your life. That's all the question asks.
Yep.
You don't have to justify your answer.
All right, Louise.
That's good.
The meat and 3 veg. It's the same 3 veg for the rest of your life. What are they going to be?
The meat and 3 veg. Well, that puts a different spin on it.
Don't worry about the meat. Just worry about the veg. You got 3 vegetables.
Well, if it were, growing up, you know what it was like growing up, don't you? Mashed potato, peas, and maybe broccoli. But for me nowadays, I'd have to say spinach too. I love it. And it can go like salad as well as cook it. So yum. And I would probably say pumpkin too, because I love it roasted. And I can't go without chips. So either corn or potato. If you're going to make me choose, I'd have to say potato, because I just love chips too. Hot chips, crinkle cut chips, you name it.
It's good because you said if you're going to make me choose, and you knew me well enough to know, well, I was
you were going to say, I know. Yeah.
There was no
preempted you there.
Yeah, that's it. It would only be a nice person who'd let me off the hook. So Luke's going to make me answer.
Not, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And which 3 vegetables would you choose if you were going to choose one for the rest of your life? 3 vegetables.
I love pumpkin, like pumpkin soup and roasted pumpkin. Have to live on roast pumpkin.
Yep.
I love mushrooms.
Ooh, mushrooms I didn't consider. Yeah.
And probably sweet potato, because I love my sweet
I
potato.
love sweet potato. Yes.
Yeah.
I had sweet potato was in the mix for me too. It's a good one.
He wasn't even close for me. Wasn't even.
No, something with zucchini.
I love zucchini slice.
Yeah, no, we've got
zucchini fries.
Yeah,
I haven't tried zucchini.
We got very
fries.
different lists, but
Go to grill. They have zucchini fries. Yum.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will try that.
Big endorsement. Adam, 3 vegetables. The rest of your life, the same 3 vegetables. What are they?
Well, that's pretty easy for me. First, tomatoes are fruit, so that's discounted. Lettuce, lettuce is empty. It's only full of water. It's not any nutrition in it. So you're onto it, Luke. Anyway, so probably potatoes, because that goes across so many different things. And carrots, I can see at night. And corn, because corn just rocks.
Yeah, corn does rock.
Carrot was on a short list. It narrowly wasn't making it. Like I really wanted carrot in there, because I do like munch on a bit of a carrot stick.
Yeah,
and grated carrot in a salad.
It is a good snack to have.
But
Yako, let's finish with you. 3 vegetables the rest of your life. Which 3 are you going to choose?
Zucchini, carrot, and sweet potato. Mushroom would be up there, but mushroom is a fungus, so.
Oh, okay. So you take it off the list. All right.
Oh, so he's got the loophole there.
Yeah, I like it. I like it very much.
So then Ange could probably slip another one back in
there. Yeah,
list,
probably. Yeah,
under that premise, it's a fungus. There's a lot of things. We've got 3 boys. I would describe a lot of things I've seen them put in their mouth as more of a fungus than food. They just have to, why do kids just want to put everything in their mouth or up their nose? It's bizarre.
You're in that space right now, aren't you, Yako? You got your little one there. Is he putting things in his mouth?
Everything.
Yeah. Oh, was that a football in his mouth? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and just like a suction cap stuck to the lips. Yeah, absolutely.
So good. So cute. I was just thinking of him last night too.
Were you really?
I was, yeah.
All right, let's talk about this question, which is about social etiquette when it comes to hairdressers.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
Deb has asked, it is quite acceptable for men to go to the hairdressers when they need a haircut. Do you think it is equally acceptable for women to go to the barbers, or is that weird? Look, and we are not judgmental people in this community, and we're not sort of ones that have boundaries in black and white. Typically, we understand that the world is in a grey area. But can I just say to this question, Deb, that's weird. Don't go near the barbers. Stay away.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what I just realised?
You would ruin it for all of us. It would ruin it.
No.
Not from the presence of women. Like I'm not women aren't allowed because that'll ruin the environment. But the barbers are specifically skilled and trained to do my sort of beard trimming and grooming and for men. And if women start turning up, then they have to be multi-skilled and they're less specialized. Like go to the barber because it's the environment where I walk into any chair and they know how to deal with my beard.
Mm.
And I just can't have that being watered down and tempered down, Suze, by multi-skilled. No, specialized for my beard.
Wow. You have a strong opinion about this question.
I have a strong opinion about my beard, Susie.
Mm.
And the barber is one of my happy places.
Mm.
Really enjoy my time at a barber's chair.
Yes, we love knowing that a woman would ruin that for you. that's
not
great.
in that kind of way, Suze. Just in the specialized skills.
Okay, do you know what? I've sat in the barber with our sons waiting, and I've watched women go in and get their hair cut from the barber. It never occurred to me that it was weird when they would come in and get their hair cut.
Who gets their hair cut at a barber?
I've seen almost every time. And in fact,
at my barber?
Not at your specific barber.
I bet you're not.
Though from memory on the price list, they have women as a separate price for cuts.
Better not.
But it's listed on the price list anyway. But at other ones, I've seen women come in and sit in the chair and they get their hair cut and they have a great conversation, and it's a quick and efficient way for them to get their hair done. And it didn't occur to me that it was weird, but I would probably think it was weird for me to do it. That makes sense.
Can I just actually? I'll step back and I just go. I don't want to be sort of just seen as this prejudiced, sexist guy. So let me put a caveat on it, Deb. If you're coming in to get your beard groomed, then by all measure.
But they cut hair. That's what they do, and they're skilled professionals at it.
So that's the thing you're going to focus on with what I just said. Not that I suggested Deb had
I just think it's weird that for me it didn't occur to me that it would be weird until I think about myself being the one in the chair, and then I think, I probably wouldn't do it. But
I do honestly. I go to a barber because they're specialized skills. For me, like I have most of my life gone to a general hairdresser, but with the rise of the barbers, this is great. I sit in the chair and they can
rise of the barbers.
Does sound like a Marvel series, doesn't it?
Yako, do you think it's unusual for women to go to a barber?
Weird is the word.
Well, in Townsville, it is, because all of the actual barber stores have placed names like Gentleman Jones, and they're specific. It's not like Luke said, this rise of the barbers, and it's just this whole 5 or 6 men-specific barbershops opened up. Yeah. And with quite a few of them, there's, while you wait, you can play darts or have a whiskey or all kinds of...
Yeah.
It's kind of...
Yeah.
So,
it's so... You don't understand what it's like to be... be a man in this world. It's tough. And we need our spaces.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know how hard it is for you all. Our hearts go out to you. Yeah.
All right. Is it weird? Deb's question. Let's go to Louise. She says it's acceptable for a guy to go to a standard hairdresser. So is it weird for a woman to go to a barber?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. Yeah, I agree. I don't want my hair cut there. Nope. I think they're specialised for men, and I think men should have a spot where they can go and just, that's a bloke's place. I even feel a little bit uncomfortable taking my sons in there, to be honest. Like, not that they make you feel uncomfortable, but I'd much prefer go to my hairdresser who's set up for women, and it's like, and men, and it's just like, that's my happy space. But I think leave it to them. That's my opinion anyway. I just think it is a bit weird. I wouldn't want my hair cut by someone who wasn't necessarily trained to do that, but they specialize in beards, and I don't have one, so just so you know. Just let me know. But I think that is a space for that specifically too. I agree with you, Luke.
I never understood the culture of women spending hours at a hairdresser.
Oh, no.
Which was always the joke, the stereotype, right? Until I started to go to barbers. and get my beard groomed. And I'm like, it's my happy place now. And I don't want them to rush. Like I love sitting there just relaxing while they meticulously sort of trim one hair at a time. I'm like, oh my gosh, feels so good.
Well, it becomes a bit of a well-being session, doesn't it? You know, especially seeing they're adding in the other things that men like to do, or those customers, I should say, with a lager while you're at the barber or whatever, make it a pleasant experience. So
yeah, absolutely, I love it. All right, Adam, Deb's question: is it weird for a woman to go to a barber?
First of all, you can't go to a barber because, obviously, you've got a good one, and you're probably paying a fortune.
Why am I going to a barber?
No, where are you going?
Where are you going? You want a recommendation?
From one year at a time. It's like, seriously?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's about, I'm not happy unless I'm spending at least 30 minutes in the chair. And it's just because it's relaxed, lean back and just,
Mate, go to the pub, have a beer.
I've never once accepted a lager at the barber. I just like the fact that it's offered.
Yeah. It's nice that they ask.
Yeah.
Do you think it's weird if women go?
I've never seen women in there. Traditionally, barbers are for men, which is great for us because, yes, we can go there and we can get our haircut done and be in and out in 10 minutes. And we're not paying a fortune like we do at the hairdressers. Because, I hate going to hairdressers because you go there, you pay $30 for a haircut. Yeah. And it takes you half an hour to have that haircut after an hour of sitting there waiting for all the other girls to go through the hair. You girls have all your expensive hair treatments overpriced, and that's great. Good for you. Stop going to barbers because all you're doing is running the prices up and making us wait longer.
To be fair, most of the women who I have seen at a barber are short-haired women who are having efficient haircuts as well.
You're deciding to sort of challenge back at Adam. When I go, you two are two peas in a pod. You are actually very similar. Like you want to get in, get the job done, get out.
100%.
And I'm the one who's like wants to savor the moment.
Yeah, I love my hairdresser because she is the most efficient of everybody.
Yeah.
For me, I so much like to get in and get out. For instance, if I need to go and buy a pair of jeans or shoes, I'll know what I want, where I want it. I'll walk straight into that shop, get them, and get out.
Yes. Yes.
Whereas, so when we were listen to her,
100%,
Adam, when we were dating, and I was, what was I even looking for? I can't remember. It was a shirt or a pair of shoes or whatever. Anyway, I started window shopping and I ended up spending like 45 minutes and coming out with something that wasn't on my list. But Susie was standing at the door of this clothes shop with her hands on her hips going, can I just go to Toy World? Just let me go play some games if you're going to take forever.
I would accept that if that was like Bunnings.
Yeah. She's the Bunnings lover too.
Yes, love Bunnings.
Okay, so now we know who's wearing the pants in the relationship.
Hey, I have never once suggested I'm wearing any pants of any kind.
And all too often he doesn't.
Literally all metaphorically, Suze. Literally all metaphorically.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
All right. Yolanda's asked a very interesting question.
It's a sweet question.
It is a sweet one, and it's dealing with our relationships. And she's like, what's your favorite random thing about your partner? I love many things, but my all-time favorite is his sleepy smile when he first wakes up.
That is gorgeous.
No.
I love that. That's
very
a lovely
sweet
answer.
All right. So let's just say, because not everyone necessarily has a partner. Let's just open this up and go that favorite random thing about someone that you love.
About your favorite person. Yeah.
Favorite person. So Suze, what's your because then you might not choose me. That would be awkward.
No, I'll choose you.
All right, okay.
Because I've already considered the question and I had it with you in mind.
Right. So what is it?
It's that you will jump into silliness with me. So I might randomly start singing a song or randomly start doing a dance or randomly start and you just go with me. You don't make me feel silly or stupid. You just go with it. And I really love that.
It's the best thing.
It's the best thing.
I love those moments. I love them. Just completely random, bizarre, and off the wall. And it escalates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's yours?
this might sound weird to everybody else, and I have to give some context. But you have this thing that you do and that you brought into my world, which I just adore. And it's when maybe you've bought snack food that maybe you think maybe you shouldn't have, or when you've eaten something that you shouldn't have, and you go, it fell in. It just fell in. It fell into the trolley, or it fell into your mouth. It just, I couldn't help it. It just fell in, and it was the first time you did it. It was just hilarious, and it's just cute, and it's adorable. And now it's also given me a thing to do when I eat something I shouldn't.
Don't think I've helped you.
Just fell in. I couldn't help it. It fell in. I just love it. That's one of the things that that's one of those.
Yeah, well, it is a random thing. That's what we're looking for. Your favorite random thing about your most favorite person.
Very cute and adorable, Suze. Fell in.
Helma, what's your most favorite thing about your most favorite person?
I don't have a partner anymore, but he was always happy to see you. You know, it didn't matter when or where. Always happy to see me. That's what I loved most about him. Other than that, no, I don't have anyone really close at the moment.
That's a lovely trait, though, because I imagine that would make you always feel like you're safe, and they want to be around you when they are happy to see you. Yeah.
And special.
Yeah,
definitely.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't always get that sense walking into my home. I think half my family barely even sort of notices that I'm walking in, and they occasionally get a grunt.
Yeah,
I get
well, I don't know why that is, Luke.
Alma, don't be we all know it's true, and everybody else was thinking it, but don't be like that.
I'm okay with it, Helma. I'm okay with it. And what about for you? Your most favourite person? What's your favourite random thing about them?
My friend in New Zealand's me receiving mail from her, and
Like
go and check the
handwritten
letterbox.
mail?
Go and check the letterbox, and I've got some surprising mail from her.
Oh, I love that.
Mail.
That is a great, because it's so special when you get something in the mailbox. That's really
It's one
lovely.
of those things where it's so rarely done these days. Society has moved on that when you get it, it's extra special, even more than it used to be. Yeah,
We still send mail to each other. We're still pen pals.
That's brilliant.
Good stuff.
So good
stuff.
Yako, what's your most favorite thing about your most favorite person?
Random.
I'll say. I'll start off with something a little bit silly. Like, even though I live in Townsville, she still loves me, even though I follow the Broncos. But
that's all the more reason to love you, Jacko.
But just like the random thing is she just cracks out laughing when someone accidentally snorts, and that's just really funny. So, if someone laughs like Sandra Bullock, with the snort, then she's on the floor crawling with laughter.
The only thing funnier than a snort laugh is the reaction of people to a snort laugh. Yeah. That's brilliant. I love it.
That's so good.
The snort laugh scene. That is certainly a random thing to love. Louise, random favorite things about that favorite person in the world for you?
Well, now there are so many things. Random, I went for his facial hair because all the way through, we've known each other a really long time. He's had some form of facial hair, and it changes often. Yeah. So he's got lots of different nicknames based around his facial hair. He's had the big lamb chops. He's had, just the under the chin one, and the moustache. He's had a moustache that's sort of shaped like, I don't know, the curly colonel sort of moustache. Yeah. And he takes a lot of pride in his facial hair. And I think it's quirky, but I love that about him. And, over the years, you can just see all these different shapes and stuff. And I actually now prefer him. So every now and again, it might come off and it'll be like, nah, you got to put it back. I just really like it about him. It's his thing, and it's quirky, but I love it. Yeah.
That's so lovely.
Well, do you know, it's interesting. I learned some facial hair history and recently, because we call them sideburns, but they were originally called Burnsides.
No way.
Yeah, because they were named after a Civil War general, Ambrose Burnside, who had that facial haircut, and that became the general would wear the facial hair like he did, and they would be Burnside. Burnside. I learned that from an Apple TV show that was all about a murderer that's trying to get a confession out of.
Wow.
I'm not sure how many there are in Burnside here in Adelaide. How many sideburns?
How many?
But there might be some.
Yeah, a few mullets. But random things about the most important people, the special people in your life. Adam, what's something random about that you love about the most special person for you?
Well, being a single dad, special person for me is probably my kids.
Yeah.
And the random thing I love about them is the hugs they give me.
Yes. And do they hug? Do they hug differently?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
I've got one that'll just sink into my arms. I've got one that'll just give me a quick hug. Well, being the boy, of course, he'll do the quick hug. But my middle child, who's daddy's little girl, she'll just sink into my arms. And then I've got the oldest one who'll give me a big, like a bear hug.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
We've got 3 boys. One of them, he is like a squeezer. We call them his squidgies. It's a squidgy cuddle, and they're like when something special happens, you earn a squidgy. We've got one who's a real snuggler, and then we've got one who probably more typically, if you're asking, leans on you. It's almost like his arms go limp.
Yeah.
And so even when you're on the couch, he might lean into you and you get kind of somewhat of a snuggle, but it's really just you're a leaning post.
Yeah.
But you take it, right?
Absolutely.
Whatever you get, they'll soon enough, they'll be old enough and they'll be going, nah, don't want anything to do with you. That's just embarrassing.
It's true.
I'll never be embarrassing.
Oh.
Yeah, like a bloke.
Like gee, I'm getting some sass, aren't I?
You are today.
Some sass. Some might say I've earned it, but I'm getting it.
The Luke and Susie Discourse.
We've got a deeper question that we're looking at today from Rebecca, Luke, and she's asked, what's the best way to move forward when you're feeling overwhelmed?
And I know it's a deeper question, and I know it's a more serious one. And so my answer is going to sound tongue-in-cheek, and it is to a point, but it is also, if you know me, a genuine answer. Whiteboards or spreadsheets. That's how I move forward when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Every overwhelm can be resolved with a good whiteboard session or a good spreadsheet.
Okay. That's
my life. If it can't be solved, either one of those two things, then the problem can't be solved. Just, but you know, sometimes I just go, need to stand in front of the whiteboard, Suze. I need your help. I need to work through some stuff. And then by the end of it, I go,
yeah,
okay. It's just getting it out there and seeing it makes it less overwhelming. It hasn't changed the situation, but it's helped me to kind of understand a way forward. So for me, that is honestly, if I'm overwhelmed, I go, come to the whiteboard with me. I need your help.
Yeah.
And for me, whiteboards and spreadsheets are it.
I have 3 strategies.
Right.
Depending on the type of overwhelm. One is just a full purge. Get a piece of paper, get a pen, and write out as much of those things that are sitting on your mind and making you overwhelmed as
Your
possible.
version of the whiteboard.
My version of the whiteboard.
Yep.
And sometimes you might find one that goes, actually, that's the thing that's bugging me, and then you can start to do a plan.
Yep.
The other one is get feet on the sand.
Yeah.
Just get away from the whatever environment you're in, get feet on the sand, maybe have a notebook and journal in case you want to write anything down. But for me, I find getting to that space where I can just see the bigness of the world with the ocean in front of me and my feet in the sand makes all the difference.
Is the sand the difference? So if you had no beach, would a sand pit do it?
If I had no beach, a bushwalk would do it, like going somewhere into nature. Yeah. And feet out of the shoes and on the grass or on the sand or on the whatever it is, the dirt, whatever it is. And number 3 is just call it quits on the day, go to bed, have a sleep, and you will feel better in the morning.
Most of Susie's issues are best resolved with a nap and a snack.
A good sleep.
Yeah. It's food or it's sleep usually, and she's a different person. I'm not saying you're hangry, but
sometimes I am.
Yeah.
What's the best way to move forward when you're feeling overwhelmed? That's what Rebecca has asked us to take a look at. And what's your advice for Rebecca?
Well, if it's been a big, overwhelming week, get out and drink and dance on a Friday or Saturday night.
Get
Get
out and
out.
dance.
Get out and about.
Dance like nobody's watching.
Yep, dance and
Yep.
drink your feelings away.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's the best advice.
Yeah.
Yako, what do you think is the best way to move forward when you're feeling overwhelmed?
Well, I've got a whole bunch of strategies as well. So one is do something active.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah,
go
good.
out there, go for a run, go to the gym. It just clears my mind. Another one, sometimes if it's just go spend time with a friend, even if nothing's said,
Yeah.
this is the whole, how's things are, just feeling a bit meh or overwhelmed. And he can sit there, sometimes watch a game of sport or something for an hour and not say a word and come back and you feel like, the issue's resolved. I feel better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. This is a question from Rebecca. Are some of the tools in the toolkit for how you actually move forward when you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed? Let's go with Helma. What are some of the things that you might do best way forward when you're feeling overwhelmed?
I love lists. It's sort of you sort of break it all down and you think, right, this is what I've got to do. This is what I've got to do. You go off at a tangent. I've got to do that. I've got to do that. This has to happen. So I write a list. Sometimes I will stew on it, like I'll think about it, can't come up with any answers. So I just stew on it for a couple of days, and things come to you and you'll be doing something completely different and it'll come, I've got it. This is what I should do. This will work. Or yeah, I don't know. That works for me.
Yeah.
If I'm under the pump, and overwhelmed, I just get in and do whatever I think needs doing and hope for the best.
Act first, and it's either it's fully planned, or if it's not fully planned, it's not. Just move.
Yeah, that's right. If you haven't got time, you just need to move and get done what you can, and it usually all comes together.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually. That's good. Adam, what's your advice if you're feeling overwhelmed?
Well, the whiteboard and the listings are really, really good. The other thing is just step back away from yourself, have a look, prioritize, see what's worth doing, what's worth getting done, see if you can prioritize what you need to get done. Put your feet on the ground, go out, do something different, play with the kids, anything. But yeah, mainly just list it and prioritize.
Yeah.
Practical steps.
Love it. Oh, my phone is ringing. I might just put that on.
Mute the phone. It's an overwhelm strategy.
Oh, no, it was muted. It was my watch, which is on charge next to me. It's connected to my watch.
All right, Louise, let's get your advice for Rebecca. If you're feeling overwhelmed, what's your moving forward strategy? How do you move on from that?
I think taking a break, a change of scenery in that moment. I think you kind of hit a moment, don't you, when you're overwhelmed and you know it, and you just go, right, I need to just think differently, maybe some deep breathing, whatever it takes, go outside, go for a walk. And I'm a list person too. And I think our phones are really handy for that because you can have your reminders in there and everything, but also there's a spot for putting just lists of stuff. And you can have that, the checklist where once it's done, you can tick it off and it's done and it goes to the bottom. But I think prioritizing is super important because you can't do it all at once. You just can't. So that puts extra stress on you. So I think, what's the most important thing? What's something that needs doing straight away? Have a break, come back to it. But life is overwhelming at times. Far out. There's so much for us all the time. And I think it's just paring back and like you said, Susie, the big picture, get grounded. A lot of it is often not as important maybe as we make it out to be. And it's just, take a step back and then tackle it with a fresh pair of eyes. And maybe that's what works for me.
Absolutely. Now, Suze, on the back of all this, I just need to kind of highlight to you the disconnect that sometimes I have from producer Sammy. She doesn't have a microphone; she can't defend herself, so I can just go to town here. but we're talking away, having this conversation, and about what to do with that. You can't.
I
That's
can't
why.
put her on.
No.
Mm.
So, and she just wrote a note on our little live sheet. Eat the frog.
Eat the frog.
Question. I'm like, and I'm sitting here for about 3
Is that
minutes going,
eating
what?
the elephant?
Well, I don't. I think so. I had to highlight the color and put some question marks next to it and turn to her and go, what on earth? Because normally, like when we're in the midst of a live show, we can add some notes and we go, oh, yeah, great. Go to this person or don't do that or let's go in this direction. We get this feedback. But eat the frog. I just.
If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning.
Which she eventually put a link when I questioned it. But it's like I was sitting here very confused for several minutes going, I don't know why I'm being told to eat a frog.
If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. That's great advice.
I think this person is eating too many frogs.
They have a very weird job description, that's for sure. but the concept's there, right? Like if you've got bad things that you need to do them first thing, get them over and done with. And if you've got 2 big things, do the biggest thing first, get it done.
And it's bad for a frog, right? But why is eating a frog bad? Isn't that something that people like to do? Why is that a bad
Louise
thing?
has suggested, what about a chocolate frog? I mean, suddenly the job has gone from pain to pleasure.
Yes, please. And I will definitely eat the biggest one first. That's all we've got time for today. We're going to wrap things up. We've got through our questions. And thank you to Louise and Helma and Adam and Ange and Jaco and
Christina earlier, who was
Christina,
here.
yeah, absolutely. We appreciate all your participation and make sure you stay in touch. Get onto the Luke and Susie Facebook group and stay a part of the community. Until next time, bye.
Bye.